Welcome to the glorious sunshine of southern Florida. We're in Fort Lauderdale, just a long frisbee toss away from the Atlantic Ocean, preparing for the final two events of the 1989 Alamo Challenge. Let's move now to the action on the women's 3-meter springboard. There are 10 rounds of diving. The athletes have completed 8 rounds, and this is the standings thus far. Irina Lashka from the Soviet Union is leading by the barest of margins over Olympic champion Gao Min from China. America's Kelly McCormick is currently entry. Zhang Yuping from China will go first. America's Wendy Lucero will dive second. We start with Zhang Yuping from the People's Republic of China. She's 20 years of age.
This dive is a very difficult spinning and twisting dive. A reverse 1 1/2 somersault with 2 1/2 twist.
Looked like she was looking skyward when she came down on the springboard.
I think she did have her head up a little bit too far as she landed.
Children, she studies physical education in addition to her diving. You see the score, 7 1/2 with 1-7 from the judges, 65 points on that dive. Now America's chances on Wendy Lucero, a 25-year-old who lives in Colorado. She'll be doing her second to last dive.
And this is the same dive that Zhang Yuping did. Let's see if we can see any contrast between the styles. Wendy is very fluid, in my opinion.
Look pretty strong.
A beautiful dive off the diving board. See a nice
Definite balletic grace. You see her coach Dick Kimball in the background. Wendy Lucero scores 7 1/2 and 7s. Once again, 65 points on that dive.
Diver number 3.
Soviet Union has Svetlana Alexieva on the board. She's 19 years of age. She lives in Minsk.
And this dive is very impressive for one reason, John. She's doing a reverse 2 1/2 in the tuck position. The tuck is what impresses me. She keeps her knees together and her feet together beautifully. Let's just watch.
At 5 feet 6 inches tall, that's a lot of body to tighten up into a tuck.
It certainly is. She has to fold her knees up into that tuck position, and this is what the rule book says a tuck should look like. Let's just watch.
Very nice.
Absolute perfection in that tuck. The knees and the feet together, toes pointed.
So the judges give her a couple of 8s and a bunch of 7 1/2, 64 points on that dive. Now we look at the woman who's currently in second.
Going to perform an inward 2 1/2 somersault tuck. Now, her tuck position is not as ideal as Svetlana from the Soviet Union. Let's see if we can locate the reason. Her knees may be apart.
Yep. Nice entry,
Her
though.
knees were a little bit apart, but her entry was impeccable in points.
Now that should be deducted, but it doesn't look like they've taken a lot off of her. She's got 8s and 7 there. High and the low will be taken out. The middle 3 judges' scores will be added and multiplied by the degree of difficulty to get the total you see there. You know, the judges, of course, are sitting in profile, so they can't see that. Kelly McCormick next up for the United States.
That was Kelly's most difficult dive, a reverse 2 1/2 somersault pike. She did a very good jump.
McCormick currently in third. She gets 5s and 5 1/2. The high and the low, the 6 1/2 and 4 1/2 will be discarded. The balance will be added. Needles and smile to little orphan Annie. She likes to listen to the music of George Michael.
Well, she's doing dives that no youngster would do. This is a reverse 2 1/2 somersault pike. 3.0 degree of difficulty. I want to see if her knees are straight. Sometimes I've noticed in the pike position that she bends her knees.
Big blow.
Yes, she went on her back, short of vertical, came out way too early in the dive, and did not do a good entry into the water.
That hurt her a great deal. You can see the response she gets. Look at that face. She knows she did a miserable job on that dive. Highlights Gao Min, 18 years of age from the Sichuan province. She is our current leader.
This dive is a back 1 1/2 with 2 1/2 twists, and she has just become so consistent and steady in her performance that unless somebody dives spectacularly, they're going to have a real hard time beating Gao Min. She doesn't miss dives.
Didn't miss that one.
No, her entry into the water was impeccable. She has a sound that is very special, and she goes through the water like some type of projectile, very quick. In the air, I see her feet bobbling around just a little bit, but there's not a whole lot wrong with that dive.
This is her coach, Zhu Yiming, the national coach in the People's Republic of China. That's about all he ever gives. He doesn't really get very emotional over his divers' performances, but that'll probably let her win the gold. We'll take a look. We have 2 more divers remaining.
He doesn't get too animated about anything, but I think he's used to seeing her perform well.
Well, she hasn't lost in a very great long while. Here comes America's Kelly McCormick at 29 years of age. I mean, she's almost twice the age of the youngest diver in the contest.
This reverse 1.5 with 2.5 twist, John, is very difficult. Let's see if Kelly can do this to move her up.
Came in a little short, perhaps, but good spinning up there.
She had a nice jump off the diving board, and
See Wendy Lucero giving Kelly McCormick a little hug on the sidelines. Their diving contest here.
A dive like she did in the previous round, but this back 1.5 somersault with 2.5 twist could be a very, very consistent dive for her. She needs to stay steady on this if she's going to be in the top 2.
Now, all she needs are 5s from the judges to pass America's Kelly McCormick for the silver medal. She might get 5s on that.
Yeah, I think she'll get at least 5s. I think she probably received more like 6, 6.5 on the dive. It wasn't a terrific...
You see them on the screen. She'll be getting 7s, 6.5, and more 7s. That's not enough to move her into first, but it does keep her ahead of the American athletes. So Lashka takes the silver, and Gao Min, the relentless champion diver from the People's Republic of China, continues her winning ways. In history, the final results, you see them on your screen. Gao Min continues her winning ways for the People's Republic of China. Irina Lashka.
The women's 1-meter springboard competition featured Chinese diving sensation Gao Min. Gao Min has dominated women's springboard competition since 1986, winning numerous international titles, including a gold at Seoul. Her streak continues with Irina Lashka in second, Julie Farrell.